Hope you are doing well today. Let's see here, getting everything set up. And so today, what I want to share with you, the testimony that I am coming on to share today is one of my, I don't know, I have so many testimonies, but this one particular testimony is like the just catalyst for me regarding just, I don't know, you guys hear me talk a lot about like revival and revival fire and that kind of thing. And so when I say that, when I talk about like revival and revival fire, it's like after I encountered God in this way, like it just set me on fire. Like just a rocket ship taking off. Like, so when I talk about that, that's what I'm talking about. So some of my friends out there, some of the people that are listening to me, you understand this like revival language, this Christianese language. And then other people out there, they're really like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like you're talking about fire all the time. And you're talking about all these like different things. And so I want to make sure that I communicate clearly, hopefully. So message me too. Like if you ever have questions, please message me. But anyway, this particular testimony that I want to share today is the night that it was in January of 2019, when I'm just not going to go into all the details because I could go on and on and on forever here. But it was the night that the Lord called me by name. He called me by name out of 1,000 women. I was in Georgia. It was in January of 2019. And I was at a women's conference, and I don't even think I really knew that I was at like a place where they were having revival. I really didn't know what was happening. But anyway, at the end of like all the teaching that night, when they were doing ministry, the pastor stopped what he was doing and he called my name out of 1,000 women. And he said, "Is there a Linda here?" And when he did that, right before he did that, I had prayed, like, "God, I just want you to heal me. I want you to heal me, like heal me and just free me of all the sin, all the generational sin in my life tonight." Like I just kind of had that, I don't even have it, it's just like a fleeting thought that I had. And then the pastor stopped the service and called me by name. And I remember just running forward and I had this time where the Lord ministered to me and he touched my heart and he healed me. And I remember coming back to Charlotte and I just felt like this like blanket had been taken off of me, like something that I had carried my whole life. I didn't even know I was carrying it, honestly. I just felt like this weight was lifted from me. And so it was powerful, and it's changed me since then. But something, I have a really good friend of mine, and we all need these just good friends in our life that have, you really need to pay attention to who you hang out with and who you're allowing to speak into your life. Because anyway, this one really good friend of mine, she walks very closely with the Lord and she hears very clearly from him. And so she messaged me and she said, "Hey," she said, I want to talk to you. Give me a call." She had a dream, and and in her dream, she felt like the Lord gave it to her to share this with me. That when we're sharing our testimonies, like take it a step further besides like, okay, like, wow, God healed me. He healed me from cancer, or he set me free. Like take it a step further. Like, what did you learn about the Lord? Like, what did you learn about his character? What are you continuing to learn about that? And I was like, that is like brilliant. Like, thank you. Like, I love that the Lord gave her this dream and she shared it with me. Because I've always kind of felt weird, like years ago when I was sharing my cancer testimony, I would always walk away from that feeling kind of, I don't know, feeling weird, because I was like, I felt like I made it about me. Like when I would share that testimony, I felt that way a lot of times, honestly, sharing testimonies. Like I felt like I was like, hey, this thing happened to me and I got freedom. And I felt like it was about me. And so when we take it to the next like step, like, no, what did you learn about God? And so what I learned about God and what I continue to learn about the Lord from that one, just that one night and that one encounter was the first thing that I learned is how much God loves me. Like when he called me by name out of 1,000 women, that he specifically spoke to my heart. That's what I needed. He knew that I needed that. And so he called me by name out of 1,000 people to just show me how much he loves me. And then there's a whole other testimony within this testimony, just about my name and identity and that kind of thing. But he called me specifically by name for multiple reasons, just to give me just a new identity that night. But also what I learned from that is how much he loves me, how personal he is, how much he cares about every little thing. Like he cares about every little thought that I have. It showed me that he's my friend. He's my counselor. He is God. He is Lord over my life. Like he showed me so much. He is my father, like a father. Like he is my father. You know, when I think of father, I mean, I just like I'm his daughter and I'm special. Like every little girl is special in their father's eyes. In our heavenly father's eyes, we are very special. Hey, I see Wendy and I see the gate here. Hey guys. So anyway, so I want to like encourage you with your testimony, because I do believe the Lord just like specifically gave me this assignment for right now to continue just getting on here and sharing testimony after testimony after testimony. And so anyone, I encourage you that when you share your testimony or when the Lord touches you in a certain way, or when you have, you know, like take it a step further, like let's go past like, okay, like, wow, I got healed. Let's take it to the next step. Like, what does this say about God? What does this say about God? Like who he is and his character, his attributes and that kind of thing. So today I want to leave you, with that question, like, what are you learning about God through your testimony or testimonies? Like, what are you learning about God through your testimony? I believe that I'm continuing every single day to learn that he loves me so much and that he is my father and he is my friend. Another thing I wanted to make sure that I shared, today, when that happened in 2019, that was in a room full of 1,000 women. And it was really cool to be, that he called me out of 1,000 people and that he ministered to me and touched me that way. But like today, I'm not saying not to gather with the church. Absolutely gather with the church. We got to be with the body. But I don't have to go to a place. I don't have to be with a large group of people in order to encounter God that way and to hear from him. So I'll give you an example. I'm just being totally vulnerable here. Earlier this morning, I was just like wrestling with some thoughts in my mind, and I was feeling just kind of insecure. I was feeling insecure. And so I could have just sat there and stayed in that place of insecurity. I could have sat there in that place of feeling insignificant, unworthy, whatever those feelings were. But what I did was I turned to the Lord. I turned my thoughts to him. And I was like, what is the truth here? What do you say about me? What do you say about me, Lord? He was like, I love you. I love you. And I just stayed in that place, and it just shifted me completely. So it's really important that we need to gather and come together. Absolutely. But we need to make sure that we personally each have, we need to each personally make sure that we can have this personal, intimate relationship with the Lord, and that we can hear from him in these times, because there's going to be times whenever we're just not with a group of people. There's going to be so many times throughout the day, every day, where we're going to just go through the highs and lows, we're going to feel great and everything's wonderful. And then we're going to have moments where we just feel like miserable. Like for me, I'm going to feel hormonal at times. That's just where I am in my life right now. So like sometimes I'm just going to be like feeling sad and blue and grumpy because, I remember Joyce Meyer saying one time, like, one of her hormones didn't wake up that morning or something. And that's how I feel sometimes, And so we need to be able to have that intimate relationship with him. We need to be able to know how to commune with him and seek him and just hear him. So be sure that you're spending time. Take your testimonies and go and sit with God and spend some time learning more about him today and his character. And so I'm challenging myself, and I'm going to challenge you that when you share your testimony, let's take it a step further and not stop at just like what he did, which is incredible. But like, now let's like make sure, like, what did we learn about him? That's the next step, I believe. So anyway, I hope this encourages you and inspires you today. And until next time, I said this, I think, on my first video post. I might hang with this. I can't decide if I'm going to or not, but I'll do it today. Until next time, this is Linda Kuhar, your good news anchor, signing off. Take care, guys.